back to our summer series. Today we're going to be walking you through how you can do a full split so you can use it as a party trick for all of your summer activities. So to achieve a split, it requires a lot of hip mobility. So we're going to be walking you through a quick and easy hip opening sequence and end the sequence with full splits ideally, and then some restorative positions to help you relax your hips before you get on with your day. All right, we're gonna come to face one short edge of our mitts, and we're gonna warm up our hips a little bit more. So let's first step our right feet back into this high lunge pose. And I want you to really open your shoulders and really uplift your upper body. All right. And then you should be feeling a very delicious stretch on your right hip. Make sure that your hips are leveled. And then to really engage in that hip stretch, we're gonna lift and lower our right heels. So lift and lower, lift and lower, and lift and lower. And you should be feeling a very deep and delicious stretch in your right hip. All right. And once you're ready, you're gonna step your right foot up a little bit, straighten both legs as much as you can, and you're gonna fold forward. Okay, so make sure that your hips are level again. Then with each breath, you can fold forward a little bit more, and that's gonna give you that hamstring stretch, which will get you ready for the split later. Okay, so breathe in, lift, breathe out, fold forward a little bit more. And then breathe in, lift, and breathe out, fold forward a little bit more. Perfect. And from here, you're gonna switch legs. So step your right foot back now, and then be in this high lunge pose. Really open your shoulders and lift your upper body and level your hips. And then we're gonna lift and lower our left heels again together to really feel that stretch on your left side. If you feel like there is any position that makes you feel a really deep stretch, feel free to stay there for a little bit longer. So this is really gonna help you to get into that hip stretch. All right, once again, you can step your left foot forward a little bit more, straighten both legs, level your hips, and then breathe in, lift, breathe out, fold forward. And then feel that delicious stretch in your hamstrings, right? So when you breathe in, you can lift a little bit more, and then when you breathe out, you can lower and fold forward a little bit more. So you can be here for a couple more breaths to really stretch your hips up. All right, perfect. And from here, you can just keep your hands on the mat and then step your feet back into a downward facing dog. From here, you're gonna lift your right leg up into a three-legged dog first, and then step your right foot outside of your right hand. So we're gonna try to come into a lizard pose, okay? So to really open up your hips. So feel free to be in a lizard pose and shift forward and backward a couple of times. Okay, and then when you're ready, you can lower your left knee first, and then you will feel a much deeper hip stretch on your left hip. Okay, and then to stretch yet even further, you can lower your forearms onto the ground into a full lizard pose. And we're gonna be here for a couple of breaths, and this is a really deep hip stretch, which will really get you ready for the full split. Okay. And then when you're ready, you're gonna bring your hands back to the ground, and then we're gonna get into a twisted lizard pose by bringing your upper body to your right side. Okay, and maybe you can walk your right foot to the center a little bit more to be able to lower your hip onto the floor. Okay, and then when you're ready, come back into a lizard pose. Then kick your right leg up. And then we're gonna switch to the other side. So left leg up this time. Left foot to the outside of your left hand. And we're gonna be in this position, maybe shift back and forth a little bit to really open up our right hips. Okay. And from here, you can lower your right knee and flip your right foot to really engage in the stretch of your right hip. All right, and then if you're ready, you can lower onto your elbows to really open up your hip. Okay, and feel free to be here for a couple of breaths to really stretch out your hip. And then when you're ready, you can pivot your left foot, shift your upper body to the left side this time into a twisted lizard pose. Okay. Then when you're ready, you can come back into a normal lizard pose. And then you can kick your left leg up and then come back into a downward facing dog. We're then going to get into a pigeon pose, so kick into three-legged dog and then elbow to your wrist, your ankle to your left wrist. Try to be in a 90-degree angle. So try to bring your shin parallel to the short edge of your mat to really maximize the stretch in your hips. Okay, and because we're trying to get into a full split, so we're really trying to position our shins to be parallel to the short edge of our mats. So that's gonna maximize the stretch in our hips. All right, and then maybe after a couple of breaths, you can actually sit down and lower your hips onto the ground, and that's a really good sign that you're warm up enough to get ready into a full split. Okay. And then to really warm up a little bit more, we can first fold forward. All right, lower your forearms onto the ground. All right, and then after that, you can try to grab your left foot with your left hand to be in this king pigeon pose, to stretch your right hip a little bit more and also stretch out your left quad. And both positions need to be very open for us to get into a full split. Okay, and then when you're ready, you can bring your hands back onto the ground, and then you can rotate your hips outwards and inwards, and then kick your leg up and then lower your right leg down into a downward facing dog. Feel free to pedal out your feet to release any tension that you might have. And then you can do it on the other side. So kick your left leg up, left knee to left wrist, and left ankle to your right wrist. All right, so really try to position your shin to be in a parallel position to the short edge of your mat. All right. And now we're gonna be here for a couple of breaths. So to really get into the full split, a pigeon pose is really great for you to get used to that hip opening sensation. And as you breathe out, you can sink a little bit deeper until the point that both your hips can be comfortably on the ground. And that's the moment that you know that you're ready for the full split. Okay. And then step one leg out into a half split to really feel that sensation. And then you can kick your legs out to come into a full split. All right, and then to come out, you can come back into a half split, transition between a low lunge and a half split a little bit to really oil up your joints. All right, and then we always want things to be balanced, so we're gonna come to the other side as well. Be in a half split first to really feel that sensation. And then when you're ready, you can kick it out and be in a full split again. And then to come out, you can come back into a half split, transition between low lunge and half split to really make sure that your hips are okay. And then you could come back into downward facing dog. Paddle out your feet, and through a plank, be in a couple of mountain climbers to really make sure that your hips are okay. So that's our tutorial, and thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you next time. Bye.